All right, what is up, everybody? I'm back. Part 2 with the 1K subs Q&A. So no more distractions, just a dinner, really good. And yeah, so anybody who's still here will be answering some more questions. So probably do for this like another hour or so. And let's have some fun. Probably gonna I think it won't be as slow this time around because, a lot of people probably got notifications of the first stream and now we'll be continuing on. So I'm going to start off with getting the questions that I probably missed at the end of the first stream because I was asking a lot of them, or well, you know what I'm saying. So, we already got 4 people. Awesome. So I'm just going to find the stream real quick so I can freaking see what questions that I missed. Hopefully slideshow actually is active for once on this thing. And it's not your fault, that's my fault because my stream can be quite annoying. Can I find it? Oh man, yeah. I don't think I can find the old questions. Yeah, I thought I saved the chat. That's odd. I had chat playback. Man, that sucks. Let's see. How's everybody doing? Oh, there we go. Finally. Good chat. Alam Gear. Hey, bro, I'm first. Awesome. So let's see what happens. I can't find it. That sucks, man. I was looking forward to answering the old question. Well, you guys can just type in the old chat. There we go. Okay. Raptor to Beat a Dragon. Have you seen any Richard Cities documentaries? If you haven't yet, I recommend giving Speechless the Polar Realm a watch. You can see it on Prime Video or Tubi. All right, make sure to check them out. Yes, I have not seen any of Richard Cities documentaries. I'm not a big documentary guy. I've seen a few of them. Like I've seen, Super Size Me, and I've seen what's another one, big one that I've seen. I've seen the big documentaries that have come out over the years, but I'm not much of a documentary man. But there are some that do pique my interest, and if you say it's good, then I'll definitely put it on a watch list. Let's see. No, bro, I said the DreamWorks franchises ranking. Oh, ranking the DreamWorks franchises. I thought you meant me ranking every single DreamWorks. Okay, sorry. Well, how many? Okay, so DreamWorks franchises, you got Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, Kung Fu Panda, Madagascar. Is that it? Are those the 4 franchises? If this is the 4th franchise, because those are the only ones coming. Oh, Trolls. Trolls is the 5th one. And do you count Boss Baby as a franchise? Because the sequel's coming out. There's a TV series, so I guess we'll count Boss Baby too. If it's those, then I'll probably say Boss Baby's my least favorite, then Trolls. Then it would probably be Madagascar. Then those 3 are hard to rank. Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, or Kung Fu Panda. They're all 3-way ties. They're all great. I'd probably say Shrek's my favorite because it's the best movies. Shrek 1 and 2 are my favorites. And I'd probably say How to Train Your Dragon, and then Shrek the 3rd. I'm sorry, Kung Fu Panda. Excuse me. Oh, Cruise too, man. Cruise put above Madagascar. There you go. It's 4th place, 4th best DreamWorks franchise. I asked the actress of Terminator Salvation what was McG like, and he replied was complicated. That was the exact word she used. Not sure what she meant. Interesting. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't think he would be that complicated since he's a music video director, but I mean, I don't know. Bazinga, my boy, congrats. Thank you, Anthony. Almost done, man. Almost done. Oh, message retracted. Ooh. See, yeah. Finally, don't have to pop in between different chats to see what people are typing, so it's nice. Who? So yeah, I was talking. I recently bought some game franchises I really wanted to play. I played through like the Tomb Raider games recently, the modern ones, which I really enjoyed. I'm also mostly through the campaign of the first Hitman, well, the modern Hitman game, so the Border Assassination trilogy. So I played through like, got a new one. Dude, did you watch The Mitchells versus the Machines and your overall thoughts? I have not seen The Mitchells versus the Machines. I really want to check it out. It's just I keep forgetting to watch it, honestly. I'm a big fan of what is the style of it. the style of the animation. And Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they're great producers. So, but they produced Spider-Verse and they directed a lot of great things before. So I'm very excited because I've heard a lot of good things about it. Ooh, Christian Garcia, can you rank the Mortal Kombat movies? One isn't covered in like 50 other movies, sure. My least favorite is easily Annihilation. Annihilation is just a terrible movie. Then it would probably be the 95 Mortal Kombat, and then it would probably be the modern Mortal Kombat movie, which is personally now my favorite video game movie of all time. No hyperbole there. I didn't grow up with the 95 one, although I still have a lot of fun with it. It didn't define my childhood. So I think overall, I think it's a better made movie than the 2021 version. I think it's better than the 95 version. It's a really good movie, honestly. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure to check it out. Definitely before the end of the year. Bro, can you rate the Ice Age franchise? I haven't seen all of them. I've only seen the first 2 and 5. So out of those 3, I say Collision Course is the worst. Then I'd probably say the second movie, Meltdown, and then it'd probably be the first film. But those are the only ones I've seen. The villains for Spider-Verse 2 are Doc Ock, male version. He kills female Doc Ock, Mysterio, and Electro also. Again, I don't know where you're getting these theories from, but they're interesting. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer is a masterpiece. It's better than Avengers: Infinity War and Kick-Ass. Ballsy opinion to make, but I mean, I respect it. I watched a documentary on Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Apparently, there was a lot of behind-the-scenes problems. I would not be surprised by that because it looked on screen that they had no idea what to do. I'm pretty sure they were pissed off because everybody left in the first film minus was Liu Kang and Katana, and you can literally see how pissed they were because they killed Johnny Cage in the first like action scene, and which is so bad. Whatever funds they had, they probably like store some of it. It's like Uva Bowl, how he stores money away during production deals and shit. That probably what happened. They stored like 15 million. They probably had like a $30 million budget. Probably stored like 25 of that away, and they only worked with what they got. I did like Jax though. Yeah, Jax wasn't a half bad character in Annihilation, but I think it was done better in the 2021 version. Why were the first 2 Fantastic Four movies with Chris Evans panned like they're not even as best as the 2015 remake? Wait, I'm confused by this statement. You said what? They're not even as bad as the 2015 remake. I mean, just because one's worse doesn't mean that it makes the other one good. You know what I'm saying? I'm personally not. I don't hate any of them. I don't think the Tim Story ones are bad. I actually think that the 2005 one, the first one, I actually think is pretty decent. But I mean, they're not great movies. I wouldn't fight anybody over like if they were mad about it. Patrick Mccarthy. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Mccarthy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You should see Scorpion's Revenge someday. Yeah, everyone's talking about Scorpion's Revenge. Like everybody says, it's a great movie, like a great animated film. And I definitely like. I'm not a big fan of watching a lot of animated stuff. Like I haven't seen a lot of the DC animated stuff, even though a lot of people say it's great. Apart from Suicide Squad: Hell to Pay and Batman Ninja and Death of Superman. Those are the ones I've seen recently. But yeah, a lot of animated stuff. I'm not really geared towards direct-to-video animated stuff. But I heard a lot of good things about the movie, so yeah, it's pretty good from what I've heard. Nicholas Piccolo, one of the OGs coming back. I remember watching the behind-the-scenes problems with Power Rangers movie 1995, like recasting some of the Power Rangers and even some of the actors having to be absent on sets. Interesting. Which monster is your favorite in the MonsterVerse? Let's see. We got Godzilla, Kong, Rodan, Ghidorah. I think is a really cool design. I like his powers. Who else we got? I think there's the ones that I remember. I probably would say Ghidorah. Just I like his design. I like the fact that he's an actual badass. Let me see. There was a Mortal Kombat TV show that was meant to be a prequel to the movies. Christina Loken appeared in that. What's that called? Like Mortal Kombat Legacy or something like that? Where like it was one of the shows like they had like 2 seasons and they made the 3rd season and it got canceled before it aired. So it's like a lost season or whatever. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Like, what happened? It's like Spectacular Spider-Man had the same thing where they're like, we're going to cut you off the legs. We're not going to have a final season. Mortal Kombat Conquest. Interesting. Will you see Cry Macho? Cry Macho is an upcoming film directed by and starring Clint Eastwood with one of the producers of The Godfather and the cinematographer of Kick-Ass and Guardians of the Galaxy. DS. I don't know what that stands for. And Captain Marvel. Doctor Strange, I think is saying. I mean, I'll see anything Clint Eastwood comes out with, even if it's something like 1517 to Paris, which sucked. He's a very inconsistent director because he can make stuff like 1517 to Paris, which is a really bad movie. Then he can make stuff like, what was it, American Sniper, and The Mule was actually a pretty decent movie. And we talked about Gran Torino in the previous live stream. And Richard Jewell I actually really like too. So he's done a lot of good things recently. You should watch Ice Age 3. I mean, it's great. And also 4. They both are better than the Meltdown and Collision Course. All right, maybe. Okay, are you Team Kong or Godzilla? Before walking into the movie, honestly, I was not excited for Godzilla vs. Kong, and I really didn't meet my expectations. That's why I made a rewrite video of it. If I had to pick a winner, I probably would have to say Godzilla because it was just fire. Or no, he's not breathing fire, but laser firing lizard from underneath the surface versus a giant ape. I mean, the odds are against Kong, but I think I would say Godzilla is my favorite out of the two because I think it's more interesting. Guardians of the Galaxy means Guardians of the Galaxy, and DS means Doctor Strange. I use Guardians of the Galaxy since it will. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, a lot of people have to use abbreviations and stuff. So yeah, I just never saw DS sub Doctor Strange. I thought the first thing that came to mind was Nintendo DS. I'm like, what the fuck? Favorite Mortal Kombat character. I like that you put the K, the character. Johnny Cage is a lot of fun. I like that kind of. He feels like a like Ryan Reynolds or Bruce Campbell, like one of those cheesy actors. That's a lot like he can bounce off people very well. I haven't played a lot of the games that much. I've played Mortal Kombat X and I've played Mortal Kombat 11, or 10 or 11. But I haven't played a whole lot of the games, so I'm not familiar with all. I'm just going off the movies. Like most interesting powers and stuff like that. Liu Kang also was really cool in the remake too. The way he like sliced that one woman in half with his saw blade hat, that was really cool. Sonya Blade also I really enjoyed in both versions, but I think she was better in the remake. But I'd probably say Johnny Cage is my favorite character. Hopefully he appears in the sequel. Do you think that the Ice Age movies are like Transformers, or are they like the god-awful Resident Evil movies? Well, what do you mean by that question? Do you think that are like do you mean that like in the quality consistency, or like I don't know. I don't think they're like Transformers movies. As in terms of like, well, they're both similar in the fact they went on for way too long. Hell, there's a 6th Ice Age movie coming out on Disney Plus, even though Blue Sky shut down. Yeah, so both those franchises I agree, but at least Bumblebee proves that you can do a Transformers. And there's one coming out with what I forgot. Another guy's making a Transformers movie coming out in 2024, I think. So at least that has steam. Unlike Ice Age, where I'm like, you can kill this franchise, nobody cares. We can stick with the first movie, and that's about it. And the Resident Evil movie, same thing. Like all those movies are bad in my opinion, but the reboot that's coming out looks really promising. Especially after playing Resident Evil 2, the remake, I'm very excited to see it to be more like the games. They have steam in them. I just don't see any steam in the Ice Age franchise. I still don't get why Gran Torino wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Slumdog Millionaire won instead. I like both movies pretty good. I think Slumdog Millionaire is slightly better because I love Danny Boyle as a director. But yeah, I do agree. Gran Torino should have been nominated for something. But again, I don't really take much stock in the Oscars anyway, or the Academy. Like they're canceling the Golden Globes right now because of the whole thing with the if I forgot, it's like the Hollywood Foreign Press, whatever. They should cancel the Oscars too. I'm not a big fan of award shows. The commercial that happened with WandaVision or messages from Doctor Strange. Well, that's not accurate. It was meant to be implied that it was Doctor Strange in the original drafts, but then they cut that out because they wanted to cut Doctor Strange out, which honestly, I like the concept of that. For me, I get why they cut Doctor Strange out because of Wanda's. They didn't want to have some man save the day for her. I get that, but you should have teased something for Doctor Strange too, in my opinion. Not just have her like floating in a cabin somewhere like she's Edward Norton at the end of Incredible Hulk, but that's just my opinion. The cinematographer also did Layer Cake, which is great in terms of style. Yeah, I definitely agree. It has a very starch color look to it, which in most ways I think are pretty bad. Like especially in late 2000s, like with Revenge of the Fallen, you can do that kind of contrast really badly. But I think Layer Cake did it pretty exceptionally well. My favorite character is Cyrax. Never heard that character, but I mean, I'll trust your opinion on it. Can you rate the Transformers films from worst to best? Man, it's been a while since I've seen Bumblebee. I think that's when I did my Transformers ranking. But out of the 6, I believe that 6 or 7, because the anime one. My least favorite, easily Age of Extinction. That movie's terrible. Age of Extinction, then Revenge of the Fallen, then I probably put The Last Night, then the animated movie, Dark of the Moon, the original Transformers, the first live action Transformers movie, and then Bumblebee is my favorite. Okay, both quality and all for the Ice Age and Transformers are Resident Evil movies. Yeah, okay, that's what you're explaining your question. What's your ranking of Toy Story? Toy Story 4 is my least favorite. They're all great movies. They're all my top 10 Pixar films of all time. I love Toy Story. 4 is my least favorite, then it would be 2, then 3, then the original. I watched Monster Hunter. Oh boy, I wish I was watching Resident Evil instead. Monster Hunter wasn't terrible. It was just a very generic action stuff like Paul W.S. Anderson's done since Alien vs. Predator. You know? Even like at least his stuff like Mortal Kombat and Event Horizon at least had some style to it and some substance. But ever since Alien vs. Predator, he just really sucked. But I mean, after watching stuff like Resident Evil Final Chapter, and especially watching that in the vein of stuff like Uwe Boll, video game movies which were just offensively bad, it was way better comparison in my opinion. What is the one video game that you want to see have a film adaptation? Mine is Smash Brothers. Well, they're already doing a Last of Us show, so I can't say that. And they're already doing an Uncharted movie, so those are my favorites. And Resident Evil's getting a remake. If I had to put like one video game franchise that I would like, Rabbids Go Home, I would like to see be put into an animated movie, just because how bizarre that game is. That is such a just bonkers film that you can actually do a pretty good animated style. Something like Ed and Eddie or like Courage, like old school Cartoon Network style to it. I'm trying to think, but that's not like a video game that a lot of people know, you know. Any other modern stuff that I really enjoy? If they make a reboot to Hitman, I think they could do a really good job at it. Team Pyra or Team Mithra? I have no idea what you're referencing, man. No, sorry. If it's a Mortal Kombat question, I'm not a huge fan of the lore, or I'm not educated on the lore, so I don't know what you're asking. Well, awards are too political now. Who wants to spend 3 hours being preached at? Yeah, I mean, the awards have always been political. I think that's a misconception that everybody thinks that because of the whole now it's because of like Me Too and stuff like that and cancel culture that like people it's always been, even when you look back in the 70s, they've talked about the politics. It's always been about soapboxing. It's always been about standing up, and I don't know. For me, it's just I don't like the fact that people validate. Oh, that's a Xenoblade question, actually. I have not played the Xenoblade games, so sorry, Patrick. I did not mean to confuse those things. But yeah, I mean, I heard they're great games. Again, the video games are a lot harder to get into than watching movies or TV shows. But back to the awards thing. It's just I've never been a big fan of people validating opinions based on the awards because they're like, I'm only gonna watch this movie because it got nominated for Best Picture. Oh, but I'm not gonna watch that movie because it didn't win Best Picture. Because we've talked about like stuff like Crash. It doesn't matter. I think everybody has their own different opinions on things, and not saying that like stuff like critics shouldn't exist. It's just that I don't like the fact that only especially since like it's only like the last 3 months of movies in an entire year that get selected for the Academy or Golden Globes or the Independent Spirit Awards. Even the Razzies, they have that same kind of like mental time loop like these Guy Pearce and Memento. They only remember the last 3 months and it recycles the same thing over and over again. I think like the very few movies that we get like Silence of the Lambs like get nominated or like only get released in like February and stick around for a year. You know, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the Academy just because there's just so many issues with it. Especially, I didn't even watch the awards this year just because I just heard how bad and cheap they were producing it. But that's just my opinion. Best or worst Blue Sky films in your opinion? Once again, I haven't seen every Blue Sky movie, so I can't give you a true defining ranking. And I haven't seen a lot of them in a long time. I watched Robots for the first time last year in quarantine because I was like, yeah, I'll watch Robots. So I've seen Robots. I've seen 3 Ice Age movies. That's 4. I've seen... what else has he done? I've seen Rio. I've seen Rio since I was it 10 years ago when I saw Rio in theater, so I haven't seen it since then. So that's about it. And then what else have they done? Peanuts movie I've seen, and yeah, I'll rank those 5. I think those are the only ones I've seen. So Collision Course, Meltdown. What was the other one? Yeah. The first Ice Age movie, then would be Robots, and then Penis movie. Those are the only ones I've seen. Or those anybody else? Okay, next ups. On a scale from 1 to 10, on a scale from 1 to 10, how sad is Army's death in Spider-Man PS4? How did she die though? Army's death. Who's Army? I don't remember a character named Army in Spider-Man PS4. I don't know. Army's death. Can you remind me who that character is? Because I don't really know. I don't remember. What are your thoughts on John Woo's Hong Kong action films? I have not seen a lot of John Woo movies. I've seen Mission Impossible 2. I've seen Face Off. But those are American movies. Sorry, that's my cat. He came back. He's going to terrorize my cardboard. My green screen. Don't scratch my green screen. I'm going to open it. There you go. Okay, never mind. We're back. I don't think I've seen a lot of John Woo foreign movies. That's another thing that I need to educate myself on, but I can't really explain much on that question because if I've seen any of them, I don't really remember them. But I've only seen a couple of his American movies. Bro, can you rate the Hotel Transylvania franchise after the fourth one? Maybe. I don't know if I'm going to review the fourth movie now since Adam Sandler apparently is not returning in that one, which surprises me because I thought he was returning for the longest time, but IMDb, I guess, is wrong sometimes. Maybe. We'll see what happens. A lot of people have wanted me to bring all the Sony Pictures animated movies. I was going to do it back when, what was it? Angry Birds 2 came out, and I forgot to do it, but I might do that instead. I don't know. I have a lot of plans to just somewhere to do a bunch of videos, a lot of different things. Planet of the Apes films, worst to best. Oof. There's 9 of them, I think. I haven't seen any of them since War came out. War was when I binged all of them, even the originals. So, no, actually, I watched some of the originals last year during quarantine. I mistaken myself. My worst to best, Battle is my least favorite. Then it would probably be Escape. Then it would be Conquest. What were the other two? Oh yeah, I really like Beneath the Planet of the Apes. I think it's a very underrated movie in my opinion. Then it would probably be the original Planet of the Apes. Then it would be no, actually, I probably put Rise. Then I would put the original. Then I would put War, and then Dawn. That's worst to best. From what I've heard, Alien vs. Predator is not entirely on Anderson. It was an executive order at Fox who demanded the movie be set on Earth and a PG-13 rating. Yeah, Paul W.S. Anderson movies sometimes get that way. I mean, Event Horizon famously had like a huge blood orgy sequence that was cut out of the movie. It was meant to be like 20, 30 minutes longer, and now like the original cut of the movie is somewhere like it's stuck on a VHS tape that they found, but like it's very watered down. Like what happened in Exorcist 3. Where it's like they found the footage, but it's on a shitty VHS tape they can't remaster. So like when you get to the director's cut, it's like HD footage, then it gets to 1997 shitty VHS quality. So yeah, it would make sense. Even though those are both R-rated franchises, why would you make that for kids? But that's just, I don't know. I'm not in the mind of a studio executive. Why do you treat Lego movies? Okay, why do you treat Lego movies like toxic for the Oscars because they won't get nominated? Well, I'm not a member of the Academy, so I don't really. It's a personal question towards me. But yeah, it's weird the fact they never nominated a Lego movie ever, which is weird. And Boss Baby and Ferdinand have. The Academy is again. That's why I really don't really trust their opinion that much. May God have mercy when you had to watch the Emoji Movie for the Sony Movie Ranking. I watched the Emoji Movie when it came out. I didn't watch it on Pornhub though, back when everybody was joking about that. But yeah, I did watch it when it came out, not in theaters, but I have seen it, and yeah, it is terrible. Wes Anderson's filmography from worst to best? Ooh, Wes Anderson. Trying to think. I think my least favorite from him is probably Darjeeling Limited. And then it would be Life Aquatic with Steve Zhao, and then it would be what else? Bottle Rocket, Rushmore. No, Isle of Dogs. I'd probably say that. Then Rushmore. Then Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest, and then Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite. If I missed anything, make sure to comment down. But yeah, I think those are all his movies. Yeah. not Armies, I mean Aunt May's death in Spider-Man PS4. Yeah. Oh, we're talking about how sad it is. Yeah, Aunt May dying in that game was so sad and so unexpected. But I mean, gotta give credit where credit's due. Like that's a ballsy thing to do. And yeah, I truly say that's. I've never seen it before in any sort of Spider-Man multimedia thing in video games or movies. So congrats on Insomniac for doing that. Thank you, Corden, for congratulating me. Almost done with high school, buddy. There you go. Oh, my cat is such a diva. But I love him. Let's see. What's the best of the Terminator movies in your opinion? Ooh, let me see. Worst to best would probably be Terminator 3 is my least favorite. Then would be Genesis. Is that right? Yeah, Genesis. Then would be Dark Fate. Then it would be Salvation. Then it would be Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. That's my ranking. Thoughts on FX has the movies channel. Are we talking about the FX channel? I'm not really. I don't watch a lot of cable TV, so I don't really know a whole lot about FX. I know they produce Legion, which is a show that I really want to watch because of how interesting and weird it is. But I don't really have a lot of thoughts about the FX channel. What other film that won Best Picture not being crashed that you think didn't deserve a win? Green Book is another one that recently came up to mind. Honestly, a lot of things. Nomadland winning Best Picture, really good movie, but did not need to win. Green Book felt like such a weird off-color response, no pun intended, but it felt such like a what was it? Milk toast option when you had so many great movies that year. You had The Favorite. You had what else came out that year? I'm trying to think. There were so many like big movies that came out that year, and you picked Green Book. That was so odd. I really enjoyed Green Book, but didn't need to win. That was nowhere near the best of the year. Also, how would you rank all of the James Cameron films? So I've seen all of them except for Piranha 2, which I think is kind of like the David Fincher Alien 3 scenario of it's not really his movie. Nobody counts that as. But I've seen all of his movies, I believe, since then. So if I had to say his worst movie, so you had Terminator, Abyss, Aliens, T2, True Lies, Avatar, Titanic, and am I missing anything, or are those the ones that he's made? I think this was the 7 he's made. If I had to rank those, I'd probably say my least favorite would be Avatar, then it would be The Abyss, then it would be Titanic, and then True Lies, and then Terminator, and then Aliens, and then T2. Have I missed anything? Yeah, I think those are that's my ranking. What's your ranking of the Illumination movies? There are 9 movies. I did a whole ranking of Illumination. You guys are asking me to rank movies that I've already ranked on my channel before. I don't know. I appreciate the suggestions, but I don't. What was it? I don't know. I'll probably go back to that later. Every title for Guardians of the Galaxy represents someone's death, and the first title represents the group. The second time represents John doing the same thing, and then who's John? Do you mean Yondu? Probably sure this is a typo. I heard Rocket. I know Rocket's a big part of Guardians 3 from what James Gunn's told me, but I don't know if that means he's gonna die. I don't know. I haven't heard about that yet, so I don't really know if he does. Make it have some meaning to it. I'll give props to James Gunn for keeping his those deaths permanent. Like with the original group, he's still dead. Yondu's still dead, so they're not bringing them back like the MCU usually does. So I'll give them credit. Anthony Fantano mode. Have you listened to Tyler the Creator? Yes. Didn't Igor came out 2 years ago today? So cool anniversary. I hope Nicholas Hammond, who played Peter Parker in the 70s live action series, appears in the new film. Maybe. Or that in Spider-Verse 2. Thank you, Brian. 1K, let's go. Hell yeah. My ranking out of the 5 that I've seen would be number 1 in Grant, Budapest Hotel, Fantasy of Mr. Fox, Live Aquatic with Steve Zizzo. That's a weird title. Isle of Dogs and Moonrise Kingdom. Yeah. Freddy vs. Jason or Nightmare on Elm Street remake. Freddy vs. Jason easily, in my opinion. I don't even like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. It sucks that Nightmare on Elm Street hasn't been active in like over a decade. Same thing with Friday the 13th. All those legal battles suck, man. Have you seen Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Only a couple episodes here and there. I don't watch a whole lot of Adult Swim content apart from Eric Andre. I recently binged all the first 4 seasons before Hannibal Buress left on Hulu, but I haven't watched a whole lot of Aqua Teen Hunger Force. How did Aunt May die in Spider-Man PS4? Didn't she have like a disease? Knock down my. Never mind. Like how I was knocking down stuff. Yeah, she had an illness. I forgot. But she died, I believe, some sort of radiation. I think it was like, what was it? Mr. Negative released a virus in the city, and then she died because of it. I hope Isle of Dogs is a Criterion release. Maybe, yeah, because a lot. I'm pretty sure. I mean, because all Wes Anderson movies already previously have that Criterion release, so we'll see what happens. Have you seen any of the Sleepaway Camp films? And so, can you rank them? I have seen all of them. Well, technically, if you've seen Sleepaway Camp 4, that's not a real movie. That's just 10 minutes of an unreleased of a movie that wasn't even finished and then spliced together. So I'm not counting Sleepaway Camp 4 as a movie. But if we're counting the actual 4 completed movies that don't have any used footage, Return of Sleepaway Camp, Sleepaway Camp 3, Sleepaway Camp 2, and the original Sleepaway Camp movie. Only watched the first 2. Probably only watched the first movie. Thoughts on the Expendables movies? First one's decent. Second one's decent. Third one's not good. They're very much just generic. They're kind of like, they're like Red. They came around the same time where it's like, we're going to get all these old school people kicking ass once again. And they're very generic. I think Expendables 2 is probably my favorite because I at least went with the R rating. Or was that the first movie? No, the first 2 were rated R. The third one was PG-13. But yeah, they're decent movies. I know they're making a 4th one, but I believe Terry Crews is returning that one because he was like assaulted sexually by like a producer on set, which that sucks. But if they don't make Expendables 4, then I won't be. I'm not a big fan of it. It's fine, but nothing that to write home about. Wonder Woman or Captain America: The First Avenger? Wonder Woman, in my opinion. What would be your ranking of the Robocop movies? So the 4 main ones, not counting the prime directors or anything like that, it would probably be Robocop 3, Robocop the remake, Robocop 2, and then of course the original Robocop, the only one you need to watch. It sucks that Neil Blomkamp was supposed to make a remake and that never happened. Also, Robocop's one of those franchises like Predator and Alien that like only has like one good Alien has 2, but like it's like one of those franchises that only has like one good installment and like nothing more, and it sucks. I love Paul Verhoeven as a director. So Baby Groot and Teenage Groot. I think you mean Groots. So Baby Groot and Teenage Groot are not the same character as Auto Group. Exactly, Baby Yoda is not Monster. Exactly, it's a different variation of Groots. It's a seed, but it's not the same Groot from 2014, the first Guardians of the Galaxy. It's like your mom has a kid that's like you, right? You're not the same person. It's basically like Groot's kid or offspring. It's not the same person. What's the most disturbing film that you've ever seen? For me, the most effective film that I've ever seen is Hereditary. I saw that almost 3 years ago today in theaters, or in a few weeks will be the 3rd anniversary. But that's the movie to me that scarred me up the most because it's not just a horror movie. It's not just there to scare you. It's not there to give you cheap thrills. It's a deep, dark, family psychological horror that just gets under your skin. Like it got so, like for me, it just made me personally uncomfortable throughout the entire runtime. It takes twists I didn't see coming. It has scenes that you just don't see in any other horror film. Like there's that scene with like the brother, and he's just like after the infamous pull scene, he just gets out and just starts sleeping in his bed, and then he just wakes up the next morning to his mom screaming. Like there's stuff like that you just don't see in any other horror movie, and like that just really messed me up. Colin Stetson's score was just incredibly creepy. That movie to this day, I own it on Blu-ray, but I'm still scared to rewatch it. I have not seen it since theaters, but I can recall basically the entire movie offhand, which I really can't do that on a regular basis. It's a messed up movie. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen Martyrs. I've seen stuff like Hard Candy recently with Elliot Page and Patrick Wilson. I've seen a lot of screwed, messed up, dark movies. But that one will forever be the experience that really screwed me up the most, especially since I saw it in theaters. Why did you hate Saw 3D? And would you rather watch Seed of Chucky or Saw 3D? Saw 3D, honestly, because Saw already screwed itself so many times. Like, I'm not as emotionally attached to Saw as Chucky is, because Chucky has some legitimately best of all time films. Like I love the first 2 films. I really enjoy 3. I enjoy Bride of Chucky. He has a really good streak of movies. Saw 7, by the time you get to that, it already screwed itself multiple times over with Saw 4 and 5. 6 was the only decent sequel after Lee Winnell left. So by the time you get to Saw 3D, it's easy to watch. Like I would easily watch it over see the Chucky. That's just my opinion. Have you seen Umbrella Academy? I have not seen Umbrella Academy. What is the film that you would like to see a Criterion release? For me, it would be Aguirre the Wrath or God or Unforgiven. Movie that I would like to see on Criterion. Rudderless, I would like to see on a Criterion Blu-ray. That's an incredibly underrated film that probably nobody's seen. Or Waves. Waves by Trey Edward Schultz. Fantastic film that I'm also going to be doing a feature underrated film segment on. Definitely. Or any Gaspar Noé movie, honestly. Irreversible, Enter the Void, Climax. Cat's messing on my green screen again. But yeah, those what I would all love to see. Or Krisha too, by Trey Edward Schultz. Any of his movies, honestly. The Avengers or Zack Snyder's Justice League. Avengers, even though Joss Whedon's canceled now. Leslie, what are you doing, man? No, don't mess with my green screen. Sorry about that, folks. Did you see the $300 Lego set, the Lego Daily Bugle set they revealed today? Yes, and I haven't played a whole lot of Legos recently, but man, I want to buy that set immediately, especially for the minifigures. Exclusive, like I have a knockoff Daredevil Lego minifigure and a knockoff Punisher minifigure, but the fact they got an official ones of those and plus Blade, and then you got so many, they got 25 other ones, dude. I want to get that set so badly. My problem with the 3 wasn't so much the PG-13. It was because, can you stop messing with the green screen, please? This cat, I love him, but he's so annoying. But what were we talking about? My problem with the 3 wasn't so much the PG-13. It was because the franchise was supported to be a reunion for the 80s and 90s action stars. But the third one, at one point, they get rid of them. Oh yeah, for like the younger characters, yeah, I agree with that. For you, what is more disturbing, Hereditary than A Clockwork Orange or Requiem for a Dream? I would say Hereditary is easily the most disturbing for me, but I would say like if you have any sort of drug addiction, I think realistically, I think Requiem for the Dream messes you up the most just because it makes you not want to take drugs whatsoever, which is a good thing. But like even if you like hit a vape once, you don't want to end up like Jared Leto at the end of that movie where he gets his fucking like arm cut off, or like the infection gets so bad. Like realistically, Requiem for the Dream is definitely disturbing. Clockwork Orange is a great film, but I don't consider it really that disturbing for me because I don't know. Like when you see so many movies and you go back to seeing older movies like Rear Window I watched recently, for example, like it gets so disturbing. Or no, you get kind of shocked when you see how the times have changed and you see what scared people 50 years ago, like the original Psycho did or The Exorcist did, where it made people faint. Still a great movie, but it's interesting to see how the times have changed. What do you think of the Human Centipede movies? I haven't seen any of them, so I can't really say. It just seems like torture porn stuff in the vein of when Saw was popular and Hostel and all that type of stuff. So I really can't say because I haven't seen them. Have you seen Invincible? Yes, I have seen Invincible, and it is a great show. Cannot wait to see season 2 and 3 and whatever they come out with next. Also, what would you cast in the female Expendables movie? I know I would cast Linda Hamilton, Jamie Lee Curtis, Angelina Jolie, Lucy Liu. Female Expendables? Zoe Saldana is a really good action star. She really gets underserved in her movies, like Colombiana and Guardians of the Galaxy. They really don't show her strengths, but I think if you gave her like a wide range to actually have when good editors and good cinematographers, I think you could do a really good like one shot of like her like kicking ass in a room. Another one I'd probably say Gal Gadot is an easy choice because she's Wonder Woman. And so you already have that established there. Plus, like, she's military trained beforehand. So you got that, people are going to cancel her, which understandable. But as for a film standpoint, yeah, I would cast Gal Gadot. Jessica Manabi from the Mortal Kombat reboot, because I really enjoyed her version of Sonya Blade. Female action stars. Yeah, I think you pretty much hit all the marks right there. Suicide Squad or Birds of Prey? Which one would you pick and why? Easily Birds of Prey. A lot of people shit on Birds of Prey, but honestly, like I had such a fun time with it because I think that was the first midnight showing I've ever been to as an employee at a movie theater, and like we had such a fun time watching the movie, eating popcorn. I have a lot of good experiences with that movie, and so but even without those experiences, even if I watched it at home for the first time, it's easily better than Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad for me is still the worst DC movie ever. Still the worst. The DCEU. Let me fix that. But yeah, Um, but yeah, Scooby 2020 or Tom and Little Burn 2021. Don't you mean? I think that means Tom and Jerry. I'd probably say Scoob 2020. They're not. Neither of them are good movies, but at least Scoob for me is mediocre. Tom and Jerry for me is just bad. So it's easy to say that. I know you haven't done a ranking vid of this yet, but can you rank the Batman films from worst to best along with the Purge movies? Are you talking about as suggestions, or you want me to rank them on this live stream? Honestly, maybe we'll see what happens. I mean, our next Batman film won't be coming out till next spring, so it'll be a while. And then the Forever Purge comes out this July, maybe. But I just might put that in every film franchise ranked. Like, I've kind of tried to get away from just doing the Sean Chandler, Austin Burke style of just let's just do a ranking of every franchise that comes out. I want to do something that like that's like a series, in my opinion. That's kind of like serialized. Like that's why I'm doing stuff like every film franchise ranked, because I like doing something that feels like a series, in my opinion. Because I like doing stuff like that. That kind of builds upon one another. But I mean, maybe at some point. Do you collect Funko Pops? No, I don't. I'm not much of a collector outside of Legos. Even that I've kind of grown out of. And Blu-rays too. I collect Blu-rays. Do you think we'll ever see Ben Trimmer appear in the new Halloween sequels? Maybe. Maybe not. I know the retcon Halloween 2, so I know he's not dead in that one. Where he fucking crashes into the van and then explodes. Yeah, understandable why you cut that out of the timeline, but maybe it would be a fun reference. I wouldn't be surprised because they're pulling out every single character they can out of the original movie, to the point where like people don't even like outside of hardcore Halloween fans, you wouldn't even get that. Like Sheriff Brackett's having a cameo in there to get Annie. No, not Annie. You get like the nurse from the original that like attacked Michael. That Michael attacked in the van with Dr. Loomis. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I will bet money. If I had to bet money on it, I'll probably say yeah. If it's not Halloween Kills, it'll probably Halloween Ends or something like that. Wonder Woman 1984 or Captain Marvel. I would probably say Wonder Woman 1984. I think it's more enjoyable. And at least Wonder Woman there has more of a character than Captain Marvel does. I'll give you $100 for your cat. Not enough, man. You don't have none of the money in the world. I'm sorry, female. You don't have money in the world to get my cat for me. I love him. He's like he's obnoxious sometimes, but I love him. Can you rate the Final Destination films? I can't rate them because I haven't seen any of them in years. I recently watched them in the past couple of years, so I do remember a whole lot about them. I used to obsess with them when I was in elementary school. Like me and a friend would like constantly quiz each other on like which deaths were from which movie, which was strange because we only saw the death scene compilations on YouTube. We weren't even old enough to watch the movies. But I had to rank all of them. Easily the fourth one's the only bad one in my opinion. It's the one that's a stinker of the franchise. So it would be 4, then it would probably be 1, then it would be 5, then 2, then 3. No, 3, then 2. 2's my favorite. Yeah. Rank the Halloween movies, the horror slasher series. That was actually my very first ranking video I ever did. So I've done it in the past, but I mean, right now my opinions haven't changed because I haven't seen any of them since. Well, I actually rewatched the first 2 movies this past Halloween, but if I have to rank them from I remember off the cuff, all 11 of them. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is my least favorite. Then would probably be Resurrection, I think was my next one. So yeah, Halloween Resurrection, Curse of Michael? No, Halloween 5. No, it'd be, yeah, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, Halloween 5, Resurrection, Halloween 6, I believe. Then it would be Rob Zombie's Halloween. Then it would be... what was it? We're at what? 6? Yeah. Halloween 3. Then it would be Halloween H2O. Halloween 2, the original, right? No, Halloween. Yeah. Halloween 4. Halloween 2018. Halloween H2O. No, Halloween. Yeah, the original Halloween 2, and then it would be the classic Halloween by John Carpenter. What is next? There's a lot of people. Can you rate the Purge movies in the live chat? Ranking the Purge movies, it would probably be the original Purge movie. Then would it be the first Purge? Not to be, yeah, that's a stupid title. The first Purge. Then would it be Anarchy? Then Election Year is my favorite. I watched Tom and Jerry yesterday. I didn't hate it, but they should have just do it animated or just do a live action like the Flintstones movie instead of doing it like Space Jam. I actually appreciate the fact they did it like Space Jam and not like the. If they made it fully live action, then I think that would have been a whole lot creepier, in my opinion. I didn't like it, but I think it was smart to not just have the cat it not be like Garfield. You know what I'm saying? Okay, list these from favorite to least favorite genre: comedy, action, and horror. Those are that's a tough. My least favorite genre, I'd probably say horror. Probably might be my. No, probably action, horror, and then comedy. Because at least comedy, they're very subjective, and also like a lot of the big classic comedies. Like I'm not one to laugh out loud a whole lot of comedies. I have a very weird sense of humor where like if I think something's funny, it'll probably be random. But if it's usually I'll laugh on the inside. I'm not one to laugh on the outside a whole lot. That's just my opinion. Godzilla vs. King Kong or Mortal Kombat 2021? Mortal Kombat 2021 any day. I don't really like Godzilla vs. Kong that much. I don't know. If you enjoy it, that's your opinion. But I didn't really find it as enjoyable as a lot of people made it out to be. Which one is worse and terrible? Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li or the Super Mario Brothers movie? Ranked it earlier. Super Mario Brothers movie. Iron Man or Man of Steel? Iron Man. Rank of the Punisher movies. Punisher Warzone. No, I'd probably say the 90s Punisher movie. Yeah, 90s. No, yeah, 80s Punisher, Warzone, and then Thomas Jane's Punisher from 2004. It's my favorite. Thoughts on Son of the Mask? Terrible movie. Easily one of the worst comic book movies, one of the worst comedy sequels, one of the worst comedy movies, one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I have not seen the videos yet of like Jimmy Kennedy made a YouTube channel. He's been talking about it. Definitely want to check those out just to see how trash he made the production. A movie that never should have been made. Rank the Spy Kids movies in the live chat. I've only seen the first 2 or 3. I definitely haven't seen 4, so I have not seen the 4D one. Out of the 3, I haven't seen any of them in years, so I'm gonna have to go off the cuff. I don't know. I can't rate them because I don't honestly remember them that much. Spider-Man: Homecoming or Shazam? Shazam. Yeah, I think I was Shazam over Spider-Man: Homecoming in my big Marvel ranking. Have you seen Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame? I have not seen Hunchback in years. I vividly remember the ending of that film. It's definitely it was one of the darkest movies I'd seen up to that point. I saw it like for the first time in like 3rd or 4th grade while we were. It's like one of those movies you watch like right before you you would go on Christmas break or summer break. It's not one of those times where we really didn't do anything in class, so we just watched the movie. And I vividly remember Hunchback, just how dark it got, especially with the villain and like the ending where he falls off the clock tower. A lot of stuff. With comedy, I think I respect it as an art form in general, but it's not as into comedy movies for me. It's more stand-up or comedy acts than movies, though obviously I have comedy movies I've loved. Exactly. I'm not one to really seek out comedies a whole lot, especially nowadays where a lot of the big studio comedies are really aloof and they're not really... They have a lot of stuff that they want to shove in your face, a lot of political stuff and a lot of obvious referential humor. Like Saturday Night Live is a perfect example of like obvious comedy that just doesn't work. I'm a big fan of the Eric Andre style stuff where it's a lot more randomized, a lot more all over the place. And just for me, again, humor is very subjective because it's just all over the place and you can have any range of the spectrum, what you like and what you dislike about comedy. But I'm one that I like more, not shock value, but a lot more randomized stuff. I'd rather watch the Mask anime series than Son of the Mask. Yeah, I would. Understandable. Could you rank Serenity? Ooh, I'd probably give it a D-, a 2 out of 10. Skip it, but also must watch because it's so bad. Would you rate the Stuart live action films from worst to best? I have not seen any of the Stuart Little live action movies, so I can't say. I would probably trust your ranking on it. SNL is the worst. It's like the definition of the type of comedy I hate. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, the whole, not just the thing with Elon Musk, it's just like over the years, everybody's just been hating on SNL, and I completely understand why. As someone who's done their own comedy skits on my, last year when I was a junior in high school, I was part of a high school show, and honestly, we were funnier than SNL was, honestly. What was your favorite 2020 film? Soul. For the longest time, it was Invisible Man, but Soul at the very end of the year. I love Soul, and that ended up being number 1 for me. Okay, I should have said modern SNL. I mean, understandable. I mean, Chris Farley definitely was the peak of comedy SNL. In the van down by the river. Oh, man. Last time I watched a full SNL show was when Eddie Murphy hosted. Must have been a while back. I really did enjoy the Jurassic Park one, though. I will say the Jurassic Park auditions, I did think that was funny, though. Especially Pete Davidson's Adam Sandler impression. I thought it was pretty good. What would you rather watch, modern SNL or modern Simpsons? Modern Simpsons, I guess, because it would be more digestible, but honestly, less cringe worthy. Sorry, I can't speak. I've been speaking for so long. I barely watched either of those shows, so really can't say. But I mean, modern Simpsons doesn't seem as controversial as modern SNL, or at least not as hated. It just modern Simpsons just seems like why is this still around? Who would you prefer, Melissa McCarthy or James Corden? I've seen less of James Corden's filmography, so I'll probably go with James Corden. I haven't seen Cats. I haven't seen like a lot of the comedy stuff he's done in movies has just been side roles. Like Melissa McCarthy can be funny. Like I really enjoy Spy. I enjoy Bridesmaids, but she's done so many things. I haven't watched Thunder Force or Tammy, but I've heard nothing but bad things about them. Life of the Party. Anything her husband's ever directed has just been shit, honestly. Let me see. It's cool to make him shoes. I don't know. I don't know how bad Modern Simpsons has gone yet because again, I haven't watched any of the Simpsons. Well, I haven't seen Modern Simpsons. I own a few seasons on DVD, but I've only really watched like some of the first couple of seasons, and that's about it. Let me fix this cardboard thing for a second. Oh, there we go. My cat knocked it over. I have like this this is like my basement area where I record my studio in, and I have these like pieces of cardboard that block out the sunlight so it doesn't mess up my lighting. So yeah. Civil War, Dawn of Justice, Godzilla vs. Kong, or Freddy vs. Jason. Which is your ranking? Ooh. Godzilla vs. Kong is my least favorite. Then it'll probably be Dawn of Justice, then Freddy vs. Jason, and then Civil War. That's how I would rank them. Remember that episode where the babysitter meets you, Horner Simpson? Somehow, I don't think that episode would be made now. Yep, Simpsons predicted me too. Simpsons predicts everything. I think in terms of political / trendy comedy, I think South Park does the best, even if it's not as funny as it used to be. Yeah, South Park always seems like it's ahead of the curve in what to do with political on the times. Like I've seen the pandemic especially have done, but I heard like decently funny. Did he messed up with my? Oh no! Did he mess it up? He messed up my green screen. God damn it! But yeah, South Park I still think is funny from what I've seen. Like whenever I pop on the TV, I do like watching South Park, but I'm not an avid fan of it. What are your thoughts on the Dr. Dolittle franchise? I think the fifth and final film of the franchise, $1 Million Mutts, is easily the worst one. Yeah, I did rank them with, what is it, every film franchise ranked part 2. So, going off the cuff once again, it's like, what, 6-7 months since I did that video, so I think my least favorite was $1 Million Mutts, then it would be, what was it? Are you asking to rank it or? Oh no, not to rank it. Just my thoughts on it. Yeah, it's just not a good series. Like the best one for me is probably the Eddie Murphy ones, but even those are just okay at best. They're like 6 out of 10s. Like it's not a great franchise. I didn't like the '60s one. Didn't like any of the Eddie Murphy ones. Didn't like any of the direct-to-video ones. I don't hate the Robert Downey Jr. one, as a lot of people like to point out. Like there was so much worse that came out that year, especially when it was just Netflix schlock for the majority of it. But it's not a great franchise. I would, if there was never another installment of that franchise ever again, I would not be sad. That's all I'll say. T2 Judgment Day or First Blood, which would you choose? I would easily T2. I really like First Blood, but I do find it overrated. I don't think it's a great movie, in my opinion. Really good, but not great. I have a few of those, in my opinion, where I'm like, it's good, but I don't love it on the level so many people do. But it's definitely the best Rambo movie, I'll say that. Godzilla and King Kong 1933 or Godzilla 1954. I'd probably say King Kong, the original King Kong, I think is more effective than Godzilla 1954. Choosing modern SNL and Simpsons is like choosing to be punched in the balls 100 times or being punched in the face 100 times. No matter what you choose, you ain't gonna feel good afterwards. Damn, I didn't know modern Simpsons was as bad as this. I don't know. I just heard a lot more hate towards SNL, at least from my feed. Wait, Dr. Dolittle is a franchise? What the fuck? I always thought it was just 2 movies. No, there's 7 Dr. Dolittle movies. There's an original one with Richard Attenborough, who played Dr. What did he play in Jurassic Park? He played Dr. Alan Grant. No, that was he played the big dog. He played the main science. He played the main guy in Jurassic Park, not Sam Neill. He played Alan Grant, but he was in Jurassic Park. There was a '60s one that was like 2.5 hours long, and there's 5 Eddie Murphy ones. He starred in 2 of them, and then there were 3 direct-to-video sequels starring his daughter that was in the first 2 movies, and then there's the Doolittle modern one with Robert Downey Jr. that came out last year. Oh no, we got another troll asking me where I live. Guess what? Hack user. You're not gonna ask me where I live. Never mind. Okay, go to back. T2 or The Dark Knight? The Dark Knight, in my opinion. Let's see. How could TMNT3 be how could TMNT3 be hated? I know that film was very terrible and bad. I hate it too. Then what's the question? Are you saying how could it be hated? It's a bad movie. It's cheaply produced. It's not a good movie. That's my opinion on it. The problem I had with Robert Downey Jr.'s version is that they treat it like he learns a different language. I always felt in the other movies that it was a gift, like a superpower. I mean, I understand why they went that route, but honestly, I barely remember that movie. And it came out like, what, a year and a half ago? It just wasn't really memorable. Jurassic Park 1 or Jaws 1? Jurassic Park 1, in my opinion. I think that's the more classic film, but they're both great movies. Spielberg, although I will say he's kind of overused as the best director of all time, from people who don't really know a lot about filmmaking, he's still a legendary filmmaker. I just think there are better ones out there, and ones that have more steam in them, in my opinion. What is a series or movie that had a cool concept but wasn't executed that well and deserves a second chance? I think Dexter for me. I love Dexter. I do plan on reviewing Dexter, all 8 seasons of Dexter, because the revival's coming out next year. Season 8 isn't good, but I really enjoyed the show up to that point. A really cool concept that could have been executed very well. Hancock, I think, could have been really executed well if they stuck to the concept and not just made it about like a giant, relationship drama between him and Charlize Theron in the second half of the movie. I talked about Hitman earlier. That's a really fun concept that you can bring to the screen, and all they've done thus far is just do generic action movies. What's another one that I really like the concept for? Limitless, I think, could have been better. With Bradley Cooper taking those pills, and now he's like super smart. And so is Lucy. Lucy with Scarlett Johansson, I think, could have been really well done, and not just a cheap movie. Which one is worse, Fantastic, Catwoman, or Son of the Mask? Man, why do people pick your poison? I guess. I'm still gonna say Fantastic is still the worst for me. That one was just painful. Son of the Mask at least has more memorability to it. At least I can get through it faster. Fantastic is just ugh. Any anime films you've seen this year, like Arlo the Alligator, Boy, Mitch's vs. the Machines, etc. Both of these were made on Netflix, by the way. Animated movies, I don't think I've seen any animated films that have come up. No, I've seen Raya. I've seen Raya and the Last Dragon. I've seen Tom and Jerry. I think that's about it. Really liked Raya. Didn't really care for Tom and Jerry, and that's about it that I've seen. As terms of the big theatrical movies, I haven't seen any Netflix stuff. I love Dexter seasons 1 through 5, not into. I love Dexter seasons 1 through 5, not into the rest. 7 was okay. I actually can't wait for the revival. LOL. Say what you want about the show, but damn, Michael Z. Hall killed it. Michael Z. Hall's a fantastic actor. I hate the fact that he hasn't done much since Dexter. Like, he's not really known for much, and he's a great actor. He's kind of like the Breaking Bad cast, like Aaron Paul. Other than Need for Speed, he really hasn't done anything besides Jesse Pinkman that anybody cares about, and a lot of the other cast members too. What do you think of the Barbed Wire reboot with Gina Carano? But good. I haven't heard about that one before, so this is the first time I'm hearing about this. I haven't seen the original with Pamela Anderson, so I don't know the comics, so I don't know anything about the property. But I've heard it's bad, so as long as they want those reboots that I can see improving upon the original in every single way, like with Mortal Kombat, like getting these 90s cheesy movies that really haven't aged well and you bring a modern spin on it, I think it could work. Did you know that apparently a 5th Scream film is in the works? I feel like they should have stopped at 4. I mean, why? There's more to tell, and plus Wes Craven passed away and it won't be the same. Yes, there is a Scream 5 coming out of the work just called Scream, which I think is weird. I think I don't know if that's playing into the weird horror thing, like because every Scream movie has its tropes that it has it likes to play off of. Because the first movie just plays off horror movie tropes, and then the second movie plays off sequel tropes, and the third film plays off of ending of a trilogy, and then the fourth one does remakes. I'm guessing this one's gonna do like reboots or like retconning movies. I guess that's my best guess on what the film's gonna be like. But here's my thing: they got like Call of Duty and Gale. They cannot have those three survivors just stick around for another runtime. Like I thought it was still kind of weird in Scream 4 that they all survived. I just think like you have to have something new. I am excited because they have the original cast members back. They have Kevin Williamson. I don't know if he's writing, but I know he's definitely is involved like producing. And you get the directors of Ready or Not, which is a good horror movie. Will it be as good as the Wes Craven ones? I don't know, but I think for me, I would much rather see a Nightmare on Elm Street remake or a reboot or sequel because that has been relevant over a decade rather than a fifth Scream movie, unless they have something to show us. I won't say anything until we at least get a trailer. Let me see. What do you think of Gamer from 2009? I have not seen Gamer, so I can't really say. Another actor from a TV show that I wish did more after his big show was over was Hugh Laurie from House MD. I haven't seen the show, but yeah, a lot of TV actors don't really make it much in the movies. Like Bryan Cranston really hasn't done much since what was it? Since Walter White. Like he's done Trumbo, I think, and he did Godzilla. That's about it that I can come to mind. But yeah, a lot of great TV actors just don't really get a lot of good film careers. It's really weird. Superman the movie, Batman, Tim Burton's version, Spider-Man 2002, and Iron Man 2008. What's your ranking? Let me see. What was my ranking? Batman 89, Superman 78, if I remember correctly, right? Yeah. Batman, Superman the movie, Spider-Man, and then Iron Man. I think it was Iron Man, then Spider-Man is my favorite out of those four. Nostalgia, personally. And also, I still think it's a really good movie today. No, I'm just thinking if you can make it happen now. I haven't heard anything. I did hear that of a Tanko reboot though with Margot Robbie. Again, that's another one that comes to mind as like those weird '90s comic book movies that weren't Marvel or DC that didn't know what they wanted to be, like Spawn, for example. You can do stuff like that in modern times. I think could work very well if you get the right people behind it. Dude, it's true. I know you're referencing Anthony. I feel like the Chucky franchise should just die already. To me, the first three Child's Play films are the best. If they stopped there without the other films, Chucky would have still been remembered. I think they should have stopped after Bride of Chucky. Bride of Chucky was the last good Chucky movie, in my opinion. After that, yeah, I haven't liked a single Child's Play movie since Bride of Chucky. I did not like See Chucky. Nobody does. Curse was the best one since Bride, but I still think it's pretty mediocre. Cult I didn't like, and I didn't like the Child's Play 2019 remake. So honestly, I'm not excited for the Chucky TV series that's coming out on Sci-Fi, or if they ever make a sequel to the remake. I just don't care at this point. Like for me, it's a dead franchise. Unless a Chucky reboot series does something great that I haven't heard of before, I just don't care anymore. Could Bryan Cranston be a good Norman Osborn? He could. I could see him playing Norman Osborn. I just think I don't know. Do they want to do Norman Osborn? I think we've seen it twice already with Chris Cooper and Willem Dafoe iconically, especially if they're going to bring Willem Dafoe back for No Way Home, which is another major casting that people have rumored for a long time, which it's not like he's a stranger to superhero movies now. He's done Aquaman, so he can do superhero stuff nowadays. He's a great actor. I'd like to see him in more stuff because I think he's extremely underrated as in terms of, because no one knows outside Walter White, apart and Malcolm in the Middle too, but just, I don't know. Giving Bryan Cranston anything nowadays, I would love to see that. I'll say that. Guardians 2 versus Birds of Prey. I'd probably say, what did I bring? I think I would say Guardians 2 would be higher because Guardians 2 is more emotional with Yondu's death. And I just think it sticks with me more in my mind than Birds of Prey, but they're both pretty good movies. Do you think it could be possible for a Superman movie set in 1938 and a Batman set in 1939? Says period movies similar to The Rocketeer. Yeah, they could. Honestly, it would be something different. I know The Watchmen tried to tackle that, but I don't think it did super well. And I know they had that classic costume in the Superman Lois show. But yeah, being a period piece, I mean, we know the Matt Reeves Batman film's going to take place in the 90s, but it will be interesting to see those like old classic styles of those characters be readapted. That'd be cool. Who could be a good Black Cat for the MCU? I know Anne Hathaway was rumored for a long time for Spider-Man 4, and then she ended up doing Dark Knight Rises. I mean, that would be an easy grab. They got teeth, so it's gonna be an easy grab. Good Black Cats. Trying to think. Crystal Quinn from Hack the Movies. As there's like professional actresses, I don't know. I don't know. Probably I'll think of something at some point. Let's see. Gardens do for me. And imitates Walter White voice. Jesse, we have to solve the infinite infidels, Jesse. Oh my god. That's kind of sus, Walter. Oh man, I love Breaking Bad memes. But going back to the Black Cat question, I'm trying to think of like nowadays. Yeah, check out Hack the Movies. I think Crystal Quinn would be really good. Or Megan Fox, honestly, if she comes. I think Megan Fox is a really good actress outside of all the crap that she's been in with Michael Bay and Jonah Hex and stuff. I think that like if you've seen Jennifer's Body, I think she has a really good range as an actress. It's just that she's just been tormented by just so many bad movies. I also think Chucky needs to end. The last one I enjoyed was Bride of Chucky. And they're making a TV show. It makes me wonder why they didn't just do that since the beginning. I don't think they should have done that since the beginning. It's just that, yeah, I just think since they ended the Cult of Chucky on such a weird note with like the whole thing about Jeffrey Tully and now like Chucky possessing Fiona Doroth, and now you're not even going to follow that up. You're going to do a TV series, which is supposedly set in the same timeline, but he's still going to be in the he's still going to be in a doll body. It makes no sense to me. I don't know. That series really screwed itself. I think it's one of the few horror franchises where like it was a detriment that Mancini continued to be in the original series. Yeah, I agree with you, Christian. Yeah. I don't know if it's me, but I think Emma Stone would be a great as Black Cat. Yeah, but I mean, Emma Stone, she's already in a Spider-Man franchise, so I think this kind of cuts it out. I don't know. Maybe if she was never Gwen Stacy, but I don't know. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Also, because of Cruella, I think it's easy to say, like, oh, yeah, she's nothing crazy. Also, The Favorite, she was pretty good in that, too. Most random question. Do you think there's a difference between edgy and offensive humor and dark humor? Yes, I think there is. I think there's a difference between, like, having a deadpan style, having something that inherently feels kind of deadpan and, like, kind of monotone and rote versus something that's easily for shock value. You know, there's a difference between something that isn't to offend you. Like, Eric Andre is not necessarily offensive humor. It's very much randomized, very much in your face, but it's not trying to offend you that much. You know what I'm saying? Like it's wacky, but it's not Andrew Dice Clay. It's not like people that just try to get a rise out of people. The Child's Play remake surprised me. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I mean, good for you, but I actually have a funny story for that. I did a double bill. I did a double feature between that and Toy Story 4 because they came out the same year or the same weekend. And I watched both of them back to back. And I was like, I just didn't like the Child's Play remake. So I'm like, oh, let me go watch Toy Story 4. And I honestly wasn't hyped for Toy Story 4 because I just was like, why are you making a Toy Story 4? Because Toy Story 3 ended so greatly. And I was like, you know what? Although I think it's the weakest of the four, still a great movie. Am I the only one who thinks Brad Dourif is getting tired of voicing Chucky? In his performance, he sounds like he's tired and bored, especially in interviews. It's like he doesn't want to be there. I can understand that after playing Chucky for so long. I mean, Cult of Chucky especially did not sound like Chucky. I'm gonna blame it on the writing, but Brad Dourif is a fantastic actor, and he's sadly one of those horror icons, sadly one of those actors who's played a horror icon that can't get a break outside the horror genre. Like you get that. Doug Bradley hasn't done anything since Pinhead. Tony Todd hasn't done anything since Candyman, and the only reason why he's getting brought up because he's in the new Candyman. You know, Robert Englund didn't do a whole lot of stuff outside. Oh, he's still alive, but he hasn't really done a whole lot of stuff outside the horror genre. And Freddy Krueger, it sucks because I think horror actors can do great in other roles. He's great in Exorcist 3, Brad Dourif, but I don't know. I would understand after being, but he doesn't physically have to be there, as in terms of having to dress up, he just has to be in the voice box. But I don't know. I think if you give him another shot and you give him a better script, I think he would be more enthusiastic in the role. I can't blame him. Since he's in his 70s after all. Yeah. The Kitchen 2019, a movie with a good concept, but the execution was bad. I thought it was okay. I don't think it's nearly as terrible as a lot of people make it out to be. But I mean, I'm not gonna get mad at you if you don't think it's good. I understand why people don't like it. I just don't think it's offensively terrible. Yeah. Excuse me. Sorry. My throat's getting. Oh man, I've been talking for a while. It's really fun. Honestly, I kind of miss doing these live streams. I like talking with all you guys. Well, so I kind of wait for stuff to roll in again. It kind of like comes in waves and troughs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Thoughts on the Phantom movie? The one from the 90s. I have not seen the Phantom. It's one of those rare 90s horror films I just haven't seen yet. I might do at some point, but it's like, I don't know. Chris Stuckman or Jeremy Johns? I'm going to say Chris Stuckman because I think his style relates to me more, my opinions. He's one of those people that I go to first whenever a new movie comes out because he's one of those critics that I actually, his opinion and my opinion kind of align a lot. So I kind of, like, I make my own opinion, but I tend to trust his opinion more. Jeremy Johns, I've never really, Jeremy Johns? I've never, like, I enjoy his content, but I've never really been a huge fan of his style just because I think because he's so popular, because he was one of the first movie reviewers that got a fan base, and now he's like still gigantic. But it's not like everybody's kind of copied Jeremy Johns, the green screen background. I don't know. He's good. He's a good guy. He seems like it's just that I don't know. He's more the casual movie guy. Chris Douglas is more the film critic, if you know what I'm saying. Who's your favorite non-film YouTube channel? Non-film YouTube channel. There's quite a bit. I enjoy Jessica Kent. She's really good. She talks a lot about her life, about being an ex. She was in prison for a long time. She was a drug addict for a long time, and like seeing her struggles and seeing her try to prop people up and talk about prison reform and all this different stuff, that like so much stuff about prisons that you don't realize go on, that you don't see in films or TV shows. It's very interesting that she comes from it. Also, Badlands Chugs, one of the most likable guys in the world. Love his content. He's like one of those guys that you just want to give a hug to. What else do I really enjoy that isn't film related? Yeah, those are the two that I really enjoy. Chris Stuckman considers The Empty Man as a cult film. Yeah, I mean, power to him. I don't like the Empty Man. I found it incredibly boring and incredibly just, I don't know. I just didn't really like it that much. But I mean, again, more power to people who enjoy the stuff that I don't. Brad Jones or Doug Walker? Brad Jones, not only because his content I think is better, but also just because I think he's a way better human being. I've really grown to dislike Doug Walker ever since the whole controversy with Channel Awesome came out a couple years ago, and how it was just him and his brother and Mike Machad just did not treat their staff well. I'm like, I just cannot watch Nostalgia Critic anymore, just because not only because they've gotten worse over the years, just because their quality's just gotten worse and worse, because even that whole like The Wall thing with Pink Floyd, that was just terrible. Just their jokes just aren't funny, and I just think their styles have gotten a whole lot worse. Arnold or Stallone? I think Stallone's made the better movies, honestly. Arnold's the more fun action star, but I think as in terms of films, I think Stallone's still a lot better. Like Copland, Rambo, I think it's a more prestigious franchise, at least the first film, than a lot of Schwarzenegger stuff. Terminator's still great, but still. And there's other stuff that he's done too. Rocky, of course, is a brilliant franchise. And I think Stallone's more of the actor, more as Schwarzenegger's more of the movie star. Jackie Chan or Jet Li? I've seen more Jackie Chan than Jet Li, but by default, I'm going to choose Chan. But I mean, they're both great martial artists. I'm probably going on for like 20 more minutes, honestly. My throat's starting to get a little weary. Child's Play 2019 versus Annabelle Comes Home. It's a tight-knit race. I'm going to have to say Annabelle Comes Home just because, I'm going to say Child's Play 2019. I have a really bad experience with Annabelle Comes Home. I enjoy the Warrens in it, but it's just a generic Conjuring, something we've seen for the longest time. And I'm not really except for Conjuring 3, because the same guy who did Curse of La Llorona is directing Conjuring 3. But anyways, it's just kind of so tired at that point. Plus, I watched the day The day I watched the movie was the day that we had to put one of my cats down unexpectedly one morning, and so I was in a really shitty mood. And I was like, I want to watch a movie to get off my mind. And I'm like, well, I'm still not off my cat's death, and it's a shitty movie. So I don't know. I'm more tied to the bad experiences, but Annabelle comes home, so I'm gonna say Child's Play 2019. Jason Statham or The Rock? Hobbs and Shaw, who wins? Jason Statham, because I think similar to Stallone, he's done the better movies and the more memorable ones. Like I really enjoyed Breath of Man that came out recently with Guy Ritchie. Really enjoyed that one. I've enjoyed him in stuff like Crank and Crank 2 are just really fun action movies. I enjoyed the Transporter movies back when they came out, or the earlier ones, not the one with Ed Skrein. And of course, he's done Lock, Stock, and Snatch, and he's done a lot more genre stuff. Where The Rock has just done PG-13 action film after one another. He's done Rampage and San Andreas, and he's just Scorpion King and Faster and Journey 2 and all this stuff that just feels the same recycled crap that we've seen recently. Thoughts on Post Malone? I don't listen to him a whole lot. I'm not one to really tag along to a lot of musical artists. I'm much more of a cherry picker. Like whatever pops up in my Spotify discovery playlist, I'll usually pick up. But for the most part, I mean, I like Better Now. There's this great remix that somebody did that with September by 21st September. Really good remix of that song. But yeah, I mean, he's a good artist. Seems like a really nice guy, just not a huge fan of his style. Cancel culture has good intentions, but like everything else was ruined by the internet. Cancel culture, I agree with that 100% because it used to be something that was understandably taking out really bad people like Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein and all that stuff. But now it's just gone after, hey, you said this offensive slur 15 years ago. Guess you're not having a career anymore. Like the guy who played, was it Hartley Sawyer, who played in the Flash TV series? He got canceled and he was fired from the show and not allowed to work. And his careers have gone to shit. Meanwhile, Ezra Miller was caught on camera, throwing a woman across the room, and he has no consequences. Amber Heard was literally caught on camera, like abusing Johnny Depp, like screaming at him and stuff, and she's still gonna be an Aquaman too. It hurts the wrong people, and you get stuff like James Charles who like grooms little boys, and he's still around. I don't know. I just don't like cancel culture just because it doesn't allow for you to reform, and also it just goes after your past mistakes. We all say stupid stuff on the internet nowadays, especially when you're in middle school, and the fact that any day someone can pick something up and just ruin your career like that. It's just, I don't know, it's unfair. There was a Transport TV show too. I haven't seen the Transport TV show. I haven't seen any of the Transport movies since the Refueled movie came out with Ed Skrein. But I do remember enjoying the first 3 movies. Who do you think is the most successful YouTube guy that kind of went into the mainstream slide? I think Bo Burnham. Yeah, Bo Burnham is definitely a great example because I really enjoy his stand-up and his music and his films I've seen from him. Over the years, I'm trying to think of YouTubers that have done well outside of YouTube. What's like a really good example? I don't know, coming off the cup is not really my thing. But I mean, I don't know, really can't think of things that come to mind, but yeah, I think Bo Burnham, you really nailed on the head with that one. How? Man. I'm actually gonna look up the people I subscribe to and see out of all of those ones who were the most successful. Not Smosh or Shane Dawson, that's for sure. Definitely. Oh my god, Smosh. Dude, that's an old name. I have not watched those guys in like 7 or 8 years. My god. Caroline Costner has done really well. Cody Cove's done a lot of tours with Noel Miller. They've done really well. Anybody else that comes to mind? Yeah, that's about it. Ralph the Movie Maker's done decently with trying to get out of the YouTube game, but I think he's kind of gotten worse over the years, in my opinion. But I mean, he's done decently. He's done a decent effort from trying to build a filmmaking career and got respected. Warner Brothers fired Harley Sawyer. I can't speak today, guys. Sorry. Warner Brothers fired Harley Sawyer over old tweets, but hired James Gunn. And also not sure if you have heard, but the actors that play Iris in the Flesh also tweeted a bunch of offensive tweets. Not surprised. It's just, again, cancel culture is very inconsistent for who they want to punish it or not. It just kind of depends on the day of the week. It's not even about trying to have justice. It's just about people that want power and people that want to see. It's a power struggle. That's the problem. It's not really even about trying to get justice anymore. And that's what scares a lot of people. And that's the thing. It's like, why? What do you think of JonTron? I don't watch a whole lot of his content, but I do enjoy whenever I do watch, like the Flexio video. Really enjoy that one. He's a good YouTuber. It's just he's not my type of YouTuber. But I mean, he does put decent effort to his videos. Dax Flame almost got there, but it didn't work out. I think the thing with Bo Burnham is that he kept it going. Well, most others just had their moment. Yes, like one Lily Singh with her late show that got canceled. Not accepting criticism and then just getting mad about it, and then now her show's canned. It's like stuff like that. Like, you're not gonna always succeed in life. So it's like once you fail once, I'm not saying that you try over and over again, but you at least gotta give it one more shot. You know what I'm saying? People don't like failure. People don't like learning from their mistakes a whole lot. And I don't know. I just think that that's a bad lesson to teach people. Yeah. We're probably gonna go for like 10 more minutes, honestly. Hour 30, probably be good. So anything left? You guys can post your stuff, and then yeah. Sean Chandler talks about or Justin watches movies. I don't watch Justin watches movies, so I'm gonna say by default Sean Chandler. Really good family man. Also, on YouTube has gotten a lot of good things too. Recovering from alcoholism. Gotta give him props. Oh man. Starting to feel that soreness from the second COVID shot. Man. What time is it now? 9:26. Okay, 9:26. For a day, whose body would you be in a day? Okay, for a day, whose body would you be in for a day? Tony Lopez or James Charles? Neither. By default, if you had to... maybe Tony Lopez. Maybe, I don't know. I don't like that question. What do you think of the Paddington movies? Oh, they're both great movies, honestly. I really enjoy both of them. I know they're making a third one right now, and I'm very excited for it. Great kids movies that really do that. They meet the balance of being just so charming and entertaining, but also teaching kids good lessons and just being very just enjoyable. Like they're like warm blankets and hot cocoa. They're just very enjoyable, very just lighthearted. Just really enjoyed both of them, those movies. Favorite David Cronenberg film? My favorite would probably be A History of Violence, honestly. It's later in his life and not really the Cronenberg that people know, but I think that's the most effective film that he's done today. I love that film. I've reviewed it on my channel previously. Great acting, great story, great short story that has a perfect length to it. And I think it's nearly flawless apart from The Bully, and also has one of my favorite endings of all time. What do you think of iDubbbz? Old iDubbbz content comp wise, I really enjoyed him. Nowadays, where he's basically kind of contradicting himself entirely. Not really. He's kind of those YouTubers that's kind of fall from grace, but not in a way that just destroys his career. He's just kind of fade into irrelevancy. Peter Rabbit versus Hop. I'm gonna say Peter Rabbit just because I think Peter Rabbit's tolerable. I do have a funny story for that. I watched that movie because I was kicked out of watching The Strangers Pray at Night because I was way too young to I was too young to watch it by myself because the theater that I actually ended up working now, that I work at now, their age limit is 16 for R-rated movies. And I was like 15, about to turn 16 in a few months. And that movie came out. I tried to sneak into that, and I ended up having to go to Peter Rabbit, and it was just not really much of a fun experience. But I think it's more enjoyable than Hop. Favorite Edgar Wright film? For me, it is going to be Scott Pilgrim, honestly. That's my favorite for him. But he's one of the best directors out there. Easily, he just makes nonstop greatness, honestly. What do you think of the Cornetto trilogy? Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. Shaun of the Dead's hilarious. Hot Fuzz, I think, is even better. I think they're both my top 100 movies of all time. And The World's End, nowhere near as good as those first two movies. I think it's a pretty good movie, but I think it's the only Edgar Wright film I don't think is great, and I think it's my least favorite film from him, but still a pretty good movie. Who would you want to cast as Scott Summers in the X-Men reboot? My pick would probably be Jensen Ackles. Who would be a good Scott Summers? Be young guy. There's somebody in mind. I can tell the face, but I don't remember the name. Uh, Finn Wolfhard. Finn Wolfhard. I don't know. Good actor to play him. Lucas Hedges, maybe. I'll always go with Lucas Hedges. Have you seen Videodrome or Naked Lunch, both David Cronenberg movies? I have seen both of those movies. I do think both of those are pretty good movies. I vastly prefer Videodrome over Naked Lunch, but they're both good movies. Naked Lunch is a little too weird for me, though. Despicable Me versus Hotel Transylvania. Easily Hotel Transylvania by a mile. Despicable Me really hasn't been good since like the first movie, in my opinion. Despicable Me 2 is decent, but I don't know. Only the first one's worth watching, in my opinion. Favorite Michael Cera role. The World's End when this is the end whenever he's like he plays himself in the drunk party and then he's like where's my phone, man, and then he gets impaled to the heart by like a street light and he just gets pulled into hell. That's honestly my favorite role from him. Boss Baby versus Storks. Storks, because I can tolerate it more. Yeah. Man, where's Michael Cera been lately? I don't know. Man. Been a minute. Okay, so we're going to be ending in 4 minutes, so you guys got your last few questions, so make sure to put them out. Thoughts on Mission Impossible 2? It's easily my least favorite of the Mission Impossible series. It's the one where I think it's a black sheep of the series, the one where I really wouldn't say I think one where people think is bad, and I understand why. The tone of it, I think, is easily the most outdated of the series with John Woo's direction. I think that has the least. I like Thandie Newton in the movie, but or I think it's Tandy Way Newton now, but she's really good as like kind of like the love interests, I believe. And there's some fun stuff like whenever like Tom Cruise gets like almost stabbed with the eye, like the knife comes like right to his retina, and that was real. But overall, easily like the least memorable movie. But hey, at least it saved Doug Ray Scott from becoming Wolverine. Do you have Letterboxd? I do have a Letterboxd account. I just don't use it. What are your thoughts on Hop? I still believe it's the Illumination's worst film, besides possibly next to Little Rocks and Minions. Yeah, I still think it's the worst Illumination movie, if I can remember. That was just a really bad movie. It's what Sonic should have. It's what Sonic. No, it tried to be like Sonic later on, James Marsden stuff. But yeah. Thoughts on zombies? I think they're the most overrated monsters. Zombies, I understand because I think they're utilized in a lot of TV shows and movies very poorly, especially like stuff like Walking Dead. They've just been really reduced and just lost their punch. I still think they're very scary. Like in 28 Days Later and 20 Weeks Later, they're still terrifying in those. Because I think fast zombies for me are a lot more terrifying than slow Romero zombies. So that's just my opinion. I think it's how you utilize them. All I know from Michael Cera is that he stars and plays now. Okay. Well, he's got work. Yeah, it gives us huge job as Wolverine, though. Exactly. Favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film? Punch Drunk Love, easily for me. Is that or Boogie Nights? Boogie Nights, it flip-flops, but for me, I will personally say Punch Drunk Love is my favorite film from him just because I think it's so off the beaten path from everything he's done since, or previously or since. And it's one that I honestly think it sticks with me the most because I love the performances. My favorite Adam Sandler performance as Barry Egan. Favorite score from any film is from John Bryan. It's a movie that I can watch any day of the week and just really does stick with me. Favorite Wes Anderson film, I probably would say was Fantastic Mr. Fox. Great movie. The Die Hard franchise or the Rambo franchise? Easily the Die Hard franchise. Die Hard is my favorite film of all time. I love Die Hard with a Vengeance. I unashamedly love Die Hard 2 and Live Free or Die Hard. A good day to Die Hard that doesn't exist. We need at least one more Die Hard film to end off the series really well done. Or no, we need at least one more Die Hard from the end of the series. I do not want I don't want a Good Day to Die Hard to be the last one that Bruce Willis does before he dies or something like that. He does so many crappy movies that like he needs to do at least one more. I wonder if there's an alternative universe where Doug Ray Scott appeared as Van Helsing and Hugh Jackman on as Batwoman. Or Interesting. What? It's Batwoman. I mean Wolverine? I don't know. Last question. A Good Day to Die Hard or See the Chucky? I probably would say Good Day to Die Hard is more tolerable to watch, but it's more offensive than me. If we're just going on rewatchability, I would say Die Hard 5. Have you seen Magnolia or Phantom Thread? I've seen all of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies, so I've seen both of those movies. They're pretty good movies. I enjoy them. Besides Boogie Nights, have you seen any other films from Burt Reynolds? Rest in peace to Burt Reynolds, by the way. I would have to look up a film. I haven't seen Smokey and the Bandit. I'm trying to think. I would have to look up his filmography. Let me check it up real quick on IMDb. I think it's probably the last question I watch before, if anything else pops up. So let's look up Burt Reynolds on IMDb. Come on. Burt Reynolds. Let's see what I've seen him in. I've seen him in Kill Bill Volume 2, The Longest. Oh yeah, he was in The Longest Yard remake with Adam Sandler. I have not seen the original Longest Yard. So, and he was also in the Name of the King. I've only seen him in 4 movies. So those are the 4 that I've seen. So I haven't seen any of his classic stuff. Dougray Scott is on Batwoman. That was a reference. Oh, okay, interesting. All Dogs Go to Heaven, or Burt Reynolds is in that film along with Tom DeLuise. That's how I pronounce it. I've not seen either of the All Dogs Go to Heaven movies, so I haven't really seen it yet. But okay, I think that's the last question or thing in the chat. It's an hour and 30 minutes. The second live stream. Yeah, you got my throat hurts so badly now. But I'm gonna close this chat right now. Thank you all so much for watching this stream. I really do appreciate it. For 1K subscribers, from the bottom of my heart, it's an accomplishment that all of you guys have stuck around to watch my content change and over the years, and I will continue to try to get better, speak clearly more, not speak as fast. We'll see. I have a lot of big things planned for this summer that I'm really excited to do, but can't believe we're at this point, and can't wait for the future. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this stream. We'll see what happens next, and yeah, see you guys around.